Hello, what's happening? So last time I made a video discussing all the scrap content of Sonic.exe. That was the main mod. We have DLC. Let's start. The first DLC ever conceptualized. Illegal Instruction. Technically not, because this is the third DLC conceptualized. Okay, this is strange. Let me break down the backstory of Illegal Instruction. You see, this originally just started as just a DLC for wechidna and chaotix to get their own mod. And it was garbage because it would be dumb to download a separate mod just for two missing characters and one missing song from the main crew. So instead, what happened was that Illegal Instruction eventually kept evolving until it became its own mod. Okay then. Let's start with the characters, and there's a bunch of scrap. There's scrap content. Soul Vector, SBO Charmy and Mighty. This was for Final Frontier, a song that is technically finished but goes unused. Apollyon scrapped Phantom Arma, which is Mighty and the Phantom Ruby. Okay. Encore designs for chaotix and BF were scrapped with boyfriend looking like Tails. Okay. Beta Gree, I guess a joke version of Demo Gree. Cyclops.iso. Now that name sounds familiar, and that's because Cyclops.iso is speed.gif. That's right. Speed.gif was planned to be in the main Sonic.exe mods, but it didn't really happen because speed.gif has its own mod. It is a demo, but speed.gif is doing fine on its own, so it definitely has enough. And plus, Fatal Error even makes an appearance. So that tells you how better speed.gif is. Course, which is a joke version of Curse, revived, which I don't even know. Hedge, whose only concept shows him to be like a clown, a more clownish joke, a clownish circus form of normal CD. Okay. Characters are brought in from the main mod. You see, in order to pad the runtime of Illegal Instruction, the devs decided to bring in characters from the main Sonic.exe mod. So they were literally transferred over here. The most obvious ones are Hog, Curse, and Normal CD or CP. Ew. Lechnia, Gratios, Rodin, Demogree were also planned. As for some stuff, in the cancel build of Illegal Instruction, Bambi makes a cameo as part of a like joke title, a joke free play card, and it's Bambi in his screwed form. And Majin Sonic also makes a cameo guest star appearance in Sonic.exe Illegal Instructions Endless Forest mix. And speaking of that song, this perfectly transitions to all the unused songs. These are all the songs from, that I've gathered from not only Dark Souls video, but from the wiki. So I had to do actual research. Let's start from the top. Originally, there was a remake of My Horizon. It's more so based on the final mix rather than the other versions, because it uses Chaotix's final mix vocals. Then there's Last Straw, a second song for Chaotix, which is great because we finally don't need to have another fucking My Horizon, but apparently they didn't learn. Malediction was supposed to get new vocals, and I just call this Malediction version 2. And the new vocals, BB Pandu is responsible for creating this new version, so yeah. Electricity Hex, which was the second Curse song, but it got scrapped. Uptaunt was supposed to have its own remix of Breakout, but that got removed. Chaotic Legends, or the unnamed Lechnia vs. Chaotix song, which actually sounds pretty damn good. It's an original song with My Horizon mixed in, which I know, we're all tired of My Horizons, but this one is actually good. Trust me, it's good. Now we get to Apollyon songs. You see, Apollyon was supposed to have one long song that would be separate into 4 separate acts, kind of like Triple Trouble, but each section was technically its own song. This is sort of the same thing as Algebra and the song Nice from Dave and Bambi 1.5's leak build, where it's one long song, but technically each section is its own song. So yeah, the first act is Genesis, which is Apollyon Act 1. But all the way at the bottom, Apollyon Act 2, Proverbs, which is listed in the wiki after Genesis. Proverbs is actually missing, and nobody actually knows where the FLP nor the audio file for the song went to. Then there's Apollyon Song 3, which is actually Corypheans. Then there's Apollyon Final Act, Revelations. And here's the thing about Apollyon. You see, originally, Satanos was going to be in Illegal Instruction, and he was scheduled to appear in here. However, Satanos got pushed back and was scrapped from the mod, and he ultimately appeared in Parallax as the main star opponent of the mod. So the devs were in a struggle. What to do? They couldn't add Satanos because he was going to be the star of his own DLC mod. So, a nifty solution. They created Apollyon. It's a sort of Satanos replacement, which is obvious when you look at Apollyon's design, as some of the features of Satanos are translated over to Apollyon. This is the reason this thing appears. Perdition Apollyon Mix. This is essentially a remix of Perdition. So yeah. Then there's a sea shanty for, I think, Demogree. It's just typical pirate music. Perfect if I use this during my PvZ2 Let's Play, but sadly I can't because I've finished that whole garbage. Good for them. A song featuring joke versions of Curse and normal CD called Normal CP. Normal child porn. Ew. Breakout remake. There was a remake of Breakout, and this got scrapped. Devastation, which is another Apollyon song. Chimera, which is a song that would actually feature like Sonic, like the normal Sonic, like the one of Sega, not this Sonic.exe bullshit and not some other stuff. And there's an ambulance right past my fucking head. Get wrecked. Also, there's snow because it finally snowed today. I'm happy, but why the ambulance had to roll in. Anyways, back into the swing of things. Another remake is Soulless Endeavors, but this got scrapped. Vista, which is a song that does have vocals, but it's used in like a in the teaser for Legal Instructions remaster. Siphon, which is a crossover song. B-side Freckles, which is apparently a My Horizons B-side remix. Yes, another My Horizon was intended to be made, but this ultimately got scrapped and went absolutely nowhere. Breakout Encore, which would have behaved like encore songs from the main Sonic.exe mod, just like an altered remix of Breakout. And then there's an unnamed chaotix song. This could have potentially mean we could have gotten a chaotix week, but this got scrapped. And that's everything of this mod. I'm not joking. This is everything I could find for Illegal Instruction. And if some other stuff comes out, then I'll just have to dedicate this whole bottom section to extra stuff I find. If you don't like that, then I'm sorry. And I know there's stuff like Final Frontier, but those are technically used, so they're not technically unused in a capacity. Next time, we'll be covering FNF Parallax and going over the unused content there. And there's significantly way more unused content to talk about there, since the whole mod was basically scrapped. Unlike this. This gets preserved. Illegal Instruction gets preserved. But Parallax gets a bang. Because let's just say Parallax was the weakest of the DLC mods. While Parallax did have some good songs, let's just say it was overshadowed by mediocrity. And the only stuff I can find of Parallax unused content is Dark Zoe's video. So I'll give a shout out to Dark Zoe because he's technically the one that has this information. I also give a shout out to the FNF wiki because they also managed to archive most of this information. And the other stuff that I already mentioned. So yeah, perfect win. It's a win-win situation, buddy. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. Well, that's the end of this video. This is just another part into the Sonic.exe unused content marathon I'm doing. Basically, I'm just going to cover everything Sonic.exe related for FNF. Hey, maybe I'll even cover Rerun and talk about the content that's scrapped there, so the Rerun isn't even released yet. Who knows? Maybe I'll even talk about Lord X Wrath when I have the time. Or, better yet, the other one. You know, one with Bolos and Lord X and basically Tails, Knuckles, and Eggman in very scary depictions. And Blaze the Cat, a spirit. I think you know which one I'm talking about. I just need to go find it. Oh yeah, now I remember. Sonic.exe Hell Reborn. Now I'm gonna cover the recent one because nobody gives a shit about the old one. The developer and the director is saying they're gonna bring the mod back in the future, so who knows? Maybe all this content will get finished and my Hell Reborn video will eventually become outdated. Who knows? That's just a game. It's just a guessing game of playing whack-a-mole then. If that's the case, then say hello. Say hello to short stuff. Oh yeah, I realized why I like drawing. I get to preserve all this stuff. Even the scrap stuff. Just like what I keep in my drawer.